Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with another episode of SoundJack's Rambles. And today I'm joined by Alyssa.
Hello.
And we are here to talk about the second round, at the very least, of our best Pokemon bracket thing.
As you can tell, we haven't really come up with a big spiffy name for it, but yeah, second round, and we're gonna figure out who's moving on to
Round
3, and potentially the semifinals if we find out we need more time.
Yeah.
Or
if we have more time.
Yeah.
To do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, I should probably time this.
Well, it's getting timed. It's timed on the recording.
Oh, you're right.
We don't need to worry.
You're right. You're right. Okay.
All right.
I'm so used to having to do that for the gaming channel that I forget. By the way, we have a gaming channel, RDSG Gaming. Please go check it out.
Yeah.
Currently we're playing Pokemon Coliseum. Well, actually, that's actually ended right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna be into Sly Cooper.
We're gonna be into Sly Cooper and Thievius Raccoonus. So check that out.
Yeah.
Okay. After now that we're done with the plug.
All right.
So we're also quickly, this is the second part of a series. So if you haven't seen a previous episode where we talked about the first round, go check that out. It's on this channel.
Yes. Yep. All right. So let's just get right into it.
Right. Yes. Let's go.
First round is Cranidos versus Yveltal. Yveltal.
There we go.
It's a weird one to pronounce.
Yveltal is very weird.
Yeah.
Cause it's a very odd pronunciation. Pokemon to pronunciate.
Yes.
Pronounce. So who did you go for, Michael?
I voted Yveltal.
I also voted Yveltal, which is surprising because I went for Cranidos the first round.
And
we also went for Cranidos too.
I talked about a lot of the reasons why it's greater sentimental attachment to Cranidos over Pinecone because of Gen 4 being my first brand new game I was experiencing with the rest of the fandom, and that was the first gym challenge to overcome.
Yeah.
But I mean Yveltal
is really cool. And
cool.
This was actually kind of difficult for me because part of me kind of wants to not put legendary status as a weight on this competition because I feel like if it was, no other Pokemon would have any chance.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to. I think what really came down to is that even though I do have a personal attachment to Cranidos, to some extent, I don't have as much of a personal attachment to it to outweigh Yveltal. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's why I went with Yveltal.
Yeah, same.
Also, Cranidos is not the best competitively.
No.
It has a great attack stat, but not too good defense.
Yeah.
Also, rock types very weak defensively. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with Yveltal moves on. That was not too difficult.
No.
I have to click fast, otherwise Michael will see my choices in the next round.
I only saw the choice for the next round.
Oh.
So I think that's fine.
Good. Okay. So our next round was what?
Froakie versus Pyukumuku.
This was tough.
This was tough.
This is a toughie.
This was
both
tough.
water types, both adorable.
Yeah.
As all hell.
Yeah.
So I went with Pyukumuku.
I went with Froakie.
Oh, we got another battle.
Yeah.
Starting out with we were probably gonna have. I have a feeling we might have more competition, more battles in this round because the choices are so tough.
Yes.
So. Okay.
So this was very tough, and I feel like you could probably easily sway me to Pyukumuku's side.
Okay.
But I went with Froakie, mostly because of the cute concept of the bubbles, how the bubbles work. Because in the anime, he even uses it like a hood cloak. It just has his eyes.
That is really cute.
Yeah.
Aww.
He's just like a ninja, and I'm like,
aww,
time to ninja time.
He's got the little thief cloak. That's cute.
Yeah. And
I don't watch the animes. You can probably tell.
And then of course it evolves into Greninja being like really dope and whatnot.
Greninja is very dope. You know,
Yeah.
I'd reckon. So I think I have a theory that every generation of most generations have what I call the breakout star Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's the Pokemon that it's not a legendary, but it's a Pokemon that's very popular with the fandom, popular enough even to get its own movie sometimes. So for me, examples: Gen 4 is Lucario, Gen 5 is arguably Zoroark. And then I'd say Gen 6, Greninja, is the breakout star of that generation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whose Gen 7's is. I'd argue it's a tie between Incineroar and Mimikyu.
Yeah.
I'd say Mimikyu is more likely the breakout
yeah.
star of Gen 7. The only ones I don't know who... And I'd say Pikachu is the breakout star of Gen 1.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Obviously. That's
No,
no contest.
I feel like Pikachu was made to be the
breakout star?
made to be the star.
Well, yeah,
so
the
then
ultimate
I feel like
star.
Charizard would be the breakout star.
Ah, okay. You know what? That's a good argument. That's a good argument. I don't know who Gen 2 and Gen 3s are though. I don't know if there is a breakout star for those generations. I think, like, is there like a non-legendary
sure.
Pokemon that like is super popular, more popular arguably than any of the other Pokemons in the generation? Like in the way that Lucario is super popular for Gen 4, you know what I mean?
I mean, for Gen 3, I guess it could be Gardevoir, but that may be only for certain circles.
Why'd you have to bring that into this?
Well, we're already off the rails already.
We are a
what
little bit.
What are your views on what are your thoughts on Pyukumuku?
Okay, so the reason why I chose Pyukumuku, so like I agree with you in the sense that Froakie's really cute and it's a starter, and of course Greninja as the breakout star, you know, it's hard to choose against him, but I kind of based, when I was thinking about which Pokemon I wanted to choose, I kind of based it a little bit more on the individual Pokemon rather than who they're related to.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like if I ignore the fact that Froakie evolves into Greninja, I think it was a lot easier for me then to pick Pyukumuku, because as much as I think Froakie's really cute and his design's really great and like the bubble hood's really cute, I think Pyukumuku just is way cuter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so cute. The cuteness just eats me inside. It's like a parasite. It like consumes me from the inside until I am nothing but a hollow shell of cuteness.
Yeah.
And Pyukumuku's like ability is really interesting, and it has like really cute, like I said, like I think you said last time, it's just a really clever way to like make a sea cucumber become a sea cucumber.
Boo.
I'm gonna fill this episode with every pun imaginable.
Okay.
So that's why I went with Pyukumuku.
Okay.
If I had to like put in like Greninja into the equation, then I think Froakie would probably win for me. But
that's a very valid point. That
if,
like we
if
should
I'm
just
only,
focus on
I mean,
Froakie.
like we don't have to just focus on, because like in some ways, when you have a member representing an evolutionary line,
mm-hmm.
that evolutionary line is part of their design and concept.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're being unfair to Pyukumuku by having Greninja be part of your criteria. For me, to make it easier on me and how I decided to choose, I just kind of looked at it just for Froakie versus Pyukumuku rather than...
And I feel like if I just looked Froakie versus Pyukumuku, I would have gone Pyukumuku over Froakie.
Okay.
Because you're right, Pyukumuku on its own has a lot more interesting going on than Froakie on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So...
So does that mean you're switching to Pyukumuku?
I'm switching to
Yeah!
Pyukumuku. So
this is probably going to be a very controversial choice.
Yeah.
I could imagine a lot of Poke fans will be like, how dare you not choose Froakie in this scenario?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, look, as I explained, we put out our reasoning on the table, so deal with it.
No, yeah.
Okay, so Pyukumuku moves on.
Woo!
Yay!
Next round, Servine versus Darkrai. I went with Darkrai.
I also went with Darkrai. I felt bad about it, because Servine's really awesome. But again, it's kind of the same situation with Froakie versus Pyukumuku too.
Yeah.
Like, Servine on its own, I think, is less exciting than
Darkrai.
Darkrai, yeah.
Yeah.
Darkrai's just got so much involved
Darkrai's
with it.
Got so much going on.
Like, I think the Gen 4 legendaries are so interesting.
Yes.
Just in total, because of how, like, interesting their lore is, and how they have, like, each of them had, like, their own event associated with them. Even the ones, like, even though a lot of them didn't see the light of day, especially Arceus's, which is a little sad to me.
Yeah.
They just kind of gave Arceus out and not the Azurflu.
Yeah, that would have been great.
But, like, I think they did a really good job of making the Gen 4 legendaries have a lot of personality in ways that I think some of the other legendaries don't really have it. So, for that reason, I think a lot of the Gen 4 legendaries kind of have a special place in my heart. So it's really hard for me to choose against them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Darkrai wins for me, no contest.
Yeah.
No contest.
No
Sorry,
contest.
Servine, you're cool, but...
Yeah.
You know.
No, yeah. So, Darkrai is moving on.
Darkrai moves on. Okay.
Round 4. Pidgey versus Deoxys.
Oh, is that the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
So...
Oh, another unfair matchup. Like...
Yeah, Deoxys.
Yeah, it was definitely Deoxys.
Like, I know last episode you were talking about how much personal attachment you have to Pidgey.
I do have a lot of personal attachment to Pidgey. But Deoxys is just too good.
Especially with how they implemented him into the Delta episode in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. That was great.
That was so cool. Like, look, Pidgey, well, I've explained my story behind why I like Pidgey so much. And Pidgey will always have a special place in my heart because of my young self's attempts to play Pokemon poorly. Yeah. But, like, I just can't choose against Deoxys, really. Like, Deoxys is just too good, too interesting. And Pidgey's just kind of a burb. And as much as I like burbs, I can't choose against an space alien DNA Pokemon.
Precisely.
It's just too good, too interesting.
Indeed.
And as I said before, but I'll say it again, that theme song is awesome.
Yes.
Theme song is great. Theme song is incredible. That theme song alone sends Deoxys to the next round, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like it that much.
Oh.
So.
I don't feel like I need to explain my reasoning anymore.
No. It's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Like, you know who Deoxys is? You know why it needs to beat Pidgey. Like,
yes. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Deoxys moves on.
Yep. Next round, round 5, Shroomish versus Buzzwole.
Another unfair matchup.
Yeah, Buzzwole.
Buzzwole got it for me too. Shroomish is a fun boy, but not fun enough.
No. On its own, not fun enough.
Yeah,
if it was Breloom, it could have been a more interesting discussion.
Yeah.
But again, I remember discussing last episode about like how much personality Buzzwole has.
It has so much personality.
Even though it doesn't even have a really distinguishable face. It's got like those two circles right on top of its proboscis. Proboscis. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think again, kind of the same way, like with the Gen 4 legendaries, the Ultra Beasts, for me, have been the group of legendaries since Gen 4 that have really captured my imagination in terms of, like, their personalities, how bizarre and interesting they are, so it's really hard to choose against them. I mean, we did it for Xurkitree, which, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, it was against Aeron, like,
yeah.
That's a hard battle. Yeah, that's like the boy. I can't choose against my boy, you know.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Who knows if the boy moves on, but I even forget if I chose Aeron for its matchup, but we'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah, Buzzwole moves on.
All right, next round. Poliwag versus Palossand.
I went with Palossand.
I went with Palossand as well.
Mostly just because Poliwag is cute, but Palossand is just so mysterious and interesting. I know why you went with it, because you can't not choose against a ghost type.
Yeah, precisely.
If there's a ghost type versus ghost type, you're going to have a real conniption.
Oh, yeah. We're
going to be like, no! And I'm going to be like...
They're spirits. They can just phase through the bracket. They can both...
That's not how that works, Michael.
I know.
That's not how that works.
I know, but we're not... Yeah, we don't have to worry about that just yet.
No.
No.
But Palossand's really cool. Palossand... is a sentient sandcastle. I actually have a lot of personal attachment to just sandcastles in general too.
Yeah.
Because I built a lot of sandcastles. Because my family had, my grandma had in a condominium out in Montauk, New York, for many, many years, and my family would go there quite a bit. So we'd make sandcastles all the time. So sandcastles are just a nice, solid thing that I love. So Palisand just.
Also, shiny is really cool since it's based off black sand.
Yeah, I love that. I love the shinies in the 3D model generation because they actually decided to make design choices on them as opposed to being like, I guess the numbers will decide. God damn it, Kyogre's freaking shiny could have been so much cooler, but they had to mess it up.
Yeah.
Can you tell I'm salty about that? I'm very salty about that.
I don't know. I don't think I can tell. All right, next round. Mm-hmm. This should be round 7.
Yes.
Aron versus Lampent.
Oh boy! Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah. What did you vote?
I chose Aron.
I chose Lampent.
I knew this was gonna be one we'd have to argue. So I'll argue for the merits of Aron first. So, as I've said before, Aron is just such a solid boy. He's so cute. Like, a rock monster being cute is hard to pull off, but I really think they did it with Aron. It's also really unique design too, and Aron is a really solid poke. It's a really good choice early on in Gen 3, and even later on too when it evolves to Aggron, it's still a really solid choice. And I just really admire it and like it for that reason. I don't know. It's just so cute and great. Also, competitively, it's so good in Little Cup. I did the research. I haven't actually used Aron in a Little Cup team because I don't play Little Cup, but like it just has a really great, solid moveset and solid stats and everything like that. So it's just an all-around rock solid Pokemon, and I appreciate Lampent. I don't have anything against Lampent, but Aron just means so much more to me, and I think that Lampent's just kind of there. I don't know. I think Chandeler's really cool. I think the whole line is really cool, but I don't think it's cooler or more interesting than Aron to me personally. Mm-hmm. And I understand that makes your heart break, Michael. You're like, how can you say that? It's a ghost candelabra lamp thing. It's so cool. How can you say no? And I'm just going to say no.
I mean, I will say if Aron makes it to the next round, I won't be disappointed.
No, Aron's...
Because I do also love Aron, and especially I also have the personal connection of, that being technically the first shiny I encountered, but then I lost it.
Right.
And also that line is very, very good. But I mean, as I explained before, I have a very strong fondness for that line, especially because of the design being a concept I had before that generation even was close to coming out.
Right. Yeah.
And it was just it's just such a good boy. He's just a little lamp with a flame, and it just eats the souls of people that are ill and dying already.
Wow.
I every time I think about that, I literally just think of the hospital near my house because there's a graveyard straight across the street from it.
Wow!
And I'm like,
that's a little on the nose, don't you think?
All of the Lampent would be living there.
Oh my god, yeah.
But very true. I will say that Chandelure is probably my favorite part of that line. Mm-hmm. With Litwick being second and Lampent being third, as it didn't necessarily go the way I had expected it would to a lamp before the Chandelier, but I still think the Purple Flame is a really cool design, and the standard red flame, orange flame is cool for its shiny, but I'm admittedly finding it a bit hard to find things to specifically say about Lampent over Aron to try to sway you, so I do think I will change my vote to Aron.
What? I thought we were going to have to go to a third party for this one. I am shooketh.
No, I thought so too, but I'm just like talking. I'm like, am I just saying it because I really, really like it? Have I just put no thought into it?
Oh my god. Well, you know what? I'll take it. I guess Aron moves. I don't know. There's yet to be a Pokemon that I've changed my mind on, so we'll see. Maybe I'll determine the entire bracket layout.
Maybe.
Alright, so next one is Litleo versus Lurantis.
What?
Yeah, Litleo versus Lurantis. What do you have?
Hold on, did I mess up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, I did mess up. Okay, so...
Is this like a trial by fire right now?
No, I know exactly who I'll pick.
Okay.
But I was just like, I thought I got them all. Because I remembered seeing the Lurantis, but I'm like, wait, it's not there, so it's got to be somewhere else on the oh, no, I did just skip it when I was writing it all down. Okay.
Good job.
So, I went with Lurantis.
I also went with Lurantis.
Yeah.
This was very easy.
Yeah, because...
That friggin' trial! Holy crap! That will
Yes.
always define Lurantis for me. And even though Lurantis itself is not really the best competitively, I still think of it as a tour de force because of that friggin' trial. It was a trial.
Indeed.
And Litleo, you're cute, but like...
Yeah. And
You
again,
can't beat the might of Lurantis, honestly.
the I guess irony of it being based on a bug that looks like a plant, but it's a plant that looks like a bug.
Yeah, no, it's a good reversal. I love it.
Yeah.
And praying mantises are very unusual, interesting creatures. And I like it for that reason too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty easy for me.
Yeah, I think next one's also going to be pretty easy. It is Galvantula versus Fungus.
I'm so basic, but I have to pick Galvantula.
And I'm also so basic,
it's a
but
spider.
I also have to.
I can't not pick
also,
the spider.
Fungus is just like the little mushroom. It's just, just a little Pokeball mushroom thing. You just chomp.
Are you advocating that we eat Fungus?
Well, I mean, what do people in the Pokemon world eat?
Food?
Yeah, and where does the food come from? Well, I know plants and stuff, but where would the meat come from?
Are you arguing that every tree... Indian elephants exist in the Pokeverse, technically. So,
True.
not every thing they eat has to be a Pokemon.
True.
So, also Fungus could be poisonous.
Very true. Or paralysis because of its effect spore ability. Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Galvantula's so solid. Those Gen 5 bug types get me every time. So
Yep.
it moves on without even any hesitation on my part.
Yeah.
So what's the next one?
The next one is Sudowoodo versus Tynamo.
This is such an odd matchup.
It is such an odd matchup. I went with Sudowoodo.
I also went with Sudowoodo.
Woo!
It's just such an iconic Pokemon. What if Sudowoodo is the breakout star of
been the breakout star of
Gen 2? What if that's the breakout star of Gen 2? Because it's so iconic.
It's either that or Typhlosion, maybe the new evolutions.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sudowoodo is just such a fun Pokemon. It's like a bonsai tree, but it's not a tree. It's a rock type, which is what? And it's just such a fun Pokemon. Whereas
Indeed.
Tynamo, I think it's cool. Its design can only carry it so far.
Yeah.
Also, its moveset's just so lame.
Indeed.
It is the lamest moveset. And I am also counting Caterpie in that, too. And Phoebus and Magikarp, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, not much question there. Sudowoodo moves on.
No, yeah. All right,
Okay.
Next round, Grimer versus Sandshrew.
This was the toughest one for me. This is the toughest one.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Who did you vote?
I went with Grimer.
I went with Sandshrew.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Okay, so why did you go with Grimer?
I went with Grimer mostly because I had an Alolan. It's mostly the Alolan forms that really did it for me.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, I think looks-wise, I actually prefer the original Sandshrew over Alolan Sandshrew. Just because I think it looks more like a pangolin than the Alolan form. Although I do respect the Alolan form a lot. But I used Alolan Muck in Gen 7, so I do have a lot of respect for it, and Alolan Muck's just so good. It's just so good. And Alolan Grimer's in that conversation too. Alolan Grimer is really good too. They're both very solid Pokemon, and like it's hard for me to choose against it. Poison Dark type is just a really good type combination, and I think the colors on Alolan Grimer are really interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of the green and the yellow.
Yeah.
And I really like it for that reason.
And then they made it shiny, the regular Grimer colors.
Yeah.
That was a fun touch.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say is I think both regular Sandslash and Alolan Sandslash are really cute and really adorable and really great. Whereas I only really like Alolan Grimer, as regular Grimer's a tad boring.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
That's a fair point.
And I mean, I understand like just to beef it up to be more comfortable in the Arctic climate. I can understand why looks like it diverted away from a pangolin, but I'm just like, it looks like a tiny igloo. It's so cute. It does the not the discus, but the winter sport we were talking about last time. Curling, yeah.
There we go.
The curling disc thingy.
Yeah.
The curling puck. And I mean, Ice Steel, maybe not necessarily the best typing. Mostly just with those fire types and fighting types. But I mean, even then, I'm still like, I would run through the game with just that and just do it. And I mean, defensively, it is very good. I mean, in terms of stat wise, I think it's still built very well. I know we're not shouldn't be taking too much from the evolved forms, but like, especially with how Alolan Sandslash has just even the tiniest change of just the long hook, the long claws, just having like tiny little hooks at the end to better climb ice walls.
Oh, that is a cute detail.
I'm just like, they put a lot of effort into that design, into those designs, and also making sure like, Alolan Sandshrew thicker and has harder outer skin, so it's not able to roll up into a ball like it used to, but it still is able to hide, like curl into something and protect itself. And I'm like, that's great. You explain lore. You have a lot of good lore back there.
Of course, the lore's gonna get you.
Yeah. And while Poison Dark type is great, and Alolan Muck is a unit in terms of combat as well as Grimer. The main thing, and I mean, this is a very minor bugging me, but in terms of lore, why would Alolan Grimer be Dark type? Because it's not any more vicious than regular Grimer or Muck, or less intrusive on the environment. In fact, in Alola, it seems to have better impacts on the environment as it eats the pollution and keeps it to itself.
Maybe it's
as opposed to Grimer, the regular Grimer that like just spreads pollution.
Maybe it's like its dark typing is like it's like an anti-hero. It's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself for the sake of the planet or something. It's got like a dark past.
But like in Japan, I could agree with that. But like the main thing is like in Japan, it's straight up called the evil type. The dark type is the evil type.
Maybe
and like it also doesn't make sense for like Absol to be a pure dark type per se if it's only like trying to warn people of disaster.
But it's like a it's evil, but like not really. It's like only evil by name, you know.
No, true, but again, there's no, I mean, it's only been one generation, but there's been absolutely no Pokedex entries that talks about its evil intentions or anything that would even sound malicious. Because it's just like it works at waste disposal plants, eating the garbage and keeping the Alola region clean. Well, I think like the only negative thing about it is like it's helped clean the environment so much that it's starting to starve a bit, but that's not evil on its part. Like I guess it could play into the anti-hero aspect, but
okay. Well, all right, I'll give it to Sandshrew. Why not?
Okay, because I wasn't gonna change.
I figured you weren't.
No.
So, cool. Sandshrew moves on. Sorry, Kramer.
Yay! I win one.
Yes, you do.
All right. So next up, I feel like this will be easy. I feel like it will.
Hold on. The next one
is
well, it was easy for me.
Yeah. Okay, so Quagsire versus Snorlax.
Oh man, I chose Quagsire.
Yeah, definitely.
That.
Because I mean, we just have too much respect for Quagsire now.
We really do.
Like,
Quagsire is the best.
Yeah, Quagsire is the best. The DJ Doa might make it all the way, honestly.
Look, Quagsire in this series is like my ride or die choice. Like,
yeah,
it's
same.
really, it's such a good. Okay, like, look, even without DJ Doa, I still think that Quagsire is such a solid Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's based off Water Striders. It has a really dopey expression that I love. Water ground typing is just such a solid typing.
Yeah.
It's so great. Like, yeah, it has a 4 times weakness to grass, but that's its only weakness.
Yes.
So, like, it really it's a really great Pokemon. Like, if there's a water ground type in like the next generation, I might like go for it just because that typing is just so reliable.
And you know what? What's great? A lot of water types can learn Ice Attack, so they can really take care of that grass weakness.
Yeah, they can.
If you want to try to risk the biscuit.
yeah, I think it's you like water ground is just really, really, really solid typing wise, and I think that you can't. Excuse me. Yeah, you just can't go wrong with it. So. Yeah, I mean, like, Snorlax is a really great Pokemon, and, like, honestly, like, I do have a lot of respect for it, but Quagsire is just too good.
Yeah.
It's just too good, in my opinion. So,
Indeed.
Quagsire moves on.
All right. Next round, Chestnut versus Curlia.
I went with Curlia.
I also went with Curlia.
Oh my god, we're so even this round.
Yeah, we
I
are.
was expecting us to have the fight a couple more times.
I feel like next round we'll have a lot more fights.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Curlia was a pretty obvious choice for me. Like, I think as amongst the middle stages, like, middle stages often get kind of overshadowed because they're not as cute as their starter, as cute as the base form, but they're not as cool as the evolved form. But I think in Curlia's case, I think it's a really great middle stage. I think it's a great in between, and I think I just like the way it like tippy toes on its feet, those pirouettes. It's just a great design, and I love it a lot. Like on its own, like it's one of those middle stages that I do respect. Like I do genuinely like a lot.
Truly,
and and like outside, like even if you don't include, Ralts or Gallade or Gardevoir in the equation.
Yeah.
So I think on that alone, it deserves a win. Chestnut's still really good, but I don't know. Curlia is just like means more to me.
Yes, and same here. Like again, Chestnut is good, but Curlia is just better.
I love how our reasoning is just so, like, matter of fact. Like, it's just better?
Yeah.
You just have to take our word for it, man.
Yeah, precisely. Because this, I mean, like, what else do we have to say? Because this is literally, totally, absolutely based on all facts and not opinions at all.
Exactly.
Just a reminder.
Yeah, just to let you guys know.
All right, next round. Pignite versus Gloom.
Ooh. Excuse me. Oh my god, this one was really tough for me, but because I want to Vote for the underdog. I went with Pig Knight.
I also went with Pig Knight.
You did! I am shocked. I would have thought you'd been like, nah, Gloom takes it. Like,
Nah.
who the heck would like Pig Knight?
No, I mean, like, I definitely don't hate that line as much as other people do. I'm still not completely happy with it. I think partly because I'm like, ooh, could be a really good fire ground type.
Yeah, I guess.
When I just saw Tepig, because I was like,
oh, yeah. Because, like, I guess
Before.
warthogs and stuff.
yeah.
But I think
But, like-
it's definitely trying to lean more into Journey to the West.
Yes.
And that's,
No,
like,
yeah. I understand.
the literary reference.
No, I understand there's good literary reference behind it. I understand, like, design-wise it makes sense with it being a fighting type. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said before, Gloom is just Gloom.
So do you think if it hadn't been Gloom, you would have gone with the other Pokemon?
It certainly could have. But in this particular matchup, I went with Pig Knight.
Like, as much as I respect the Oddish line, I think Pig Knight takes it, definitely. And like I said, I just like voting for the underdog in this scenario. Pig Knight deserves more love, I think. So.
All right.
Easy.
Next up, Porygon 2 versus Zekrom.
I went with Zekrom.
I went with Porygon 2.
Oh, you went against a legendary. I'm shocked.
But Porygon 2 is just so good.
I mean,
I
no.
love its 3D evolution from Porygon. I love its stat pool. I love its move layout, especially given adaptability, and it's just gonna wreck all of the houses.
Yeah, like...
It's great. Give it an Eviolite, and it's just gonna live forever. It's amazing. Zekrom is still really cool, but, like, versus Porygon 2, to me, like, no.
Damn. So, Zekrom... I went with Zekrom because I played White.
Yes.
White. It was my first game in Gen 5, and Zekrom, like, you actually fight with Zekrom in the final battle. Or, well, against N you do.
Yeah.
Oh, you fight with it against Getsus as well if you put it on your team.
Yeah.
So, that's really cool. That I always thought it was really cool how Gen 5 kind of had you have the legendary on your team as like
that was
part of like the whole story.
Yeah, that was like the first instance of like the game being like, hey, you just got this new Pokemon. Do you want to put it in your party and swap it out for someone else, or do you want to toss it in the box?
Yeah, and I ended up using the Zekrom.
Same.
Like I had a Zebstrika on my team, and like, I mean, like, why would I have a Zebstrika instead of Zekrom?
Yes.
I don't know, man, but I went with Zekrom. So I think for that reason, that's why I kind of chose. I do have a lot of personal attachment to Porygon Z. If this was Porygon Z versus Zekrom, I definitely would have gone with Porygon Z. And I could definitely explain my reasonings why, but I'm going to save that story for another time.
Yeah.
But Porygon 2 versus Zekrom, I mean, for me, I have more personal attachment to Zekrom, so I went with Zekrom.
Yeah. So, are you going to move?
No.
Because I'm not going to move.
God damn it. All right, third party, here we come. Do you have your phone on you? I don't.
Yeah.
No, my phone's over there. Could you get it for me, please? Because we can text. We're going to text our friend Potter. Okay. We might also text our friend Miguel.
Yeah.
Just in case Potter doesn't respond in time.
Yeah.
So, if I can unlock my phone. But are you going to text them, or?
I'll message Miguel.
Okay. I mean, you can text Potter, Miguel. You can put it in the Steel City Boss group chat, too. Whatever you want to do, man. Okay, then we have our last matchup for round 2.
Just give me a second. Okay, so last round.
Yes.
Of round 2, we have not Pokemon Masters right now. Oricorio versus Venipede.
Okay. So this was a very challenging one for me because, as I said before, the Gen 5's bug types are just so good. They're so solid. Yeah. But I had to go with Oricorio on this one because I felt Oricorio's design concept was way more interesting than just Venipede's.
Yes.
As much as I love Venipede and its millipede-ness, I I mean, like, Oricoreos is just so interesting because of, like, it's the different dances and how intertwined it is with the region. Like, it's just so good. So,
yeah,
it was not much of a choice for me.
Yeah.
Which makes it sad because it makes it sound like Venipede isn't cool, but I do really like Venipede. So, I want to let Venipede know that I love it. I had to go with Oricoreo this round. It was just kind of, it just kind of made sense that way. Any thoughts for you on Oricorio, or?
No, exactly what you said.
Okay. All right, cool.
So once we get a final answer for Porygon 2 versus Zekrom, we can definitely continue.
Yep.
So we're just gonna like cut the audio right here while we take some time to figure it out. And before we start, we'll be like, hey, this was the one that won.
Okay.
And that's who's going up. Okay?
Sure.
So we'll just pause right here, and we'll be back in 2 seconds for you guys.
Yep. Okay, so our tiebreaker responded, finally. And he says, on its own, Zekrom, its unique typing and home claws with decent speed makes it a threat, and Porygon 2, like Chansey, is only useful with Eviolite, so I will choose the Yang Pokemon.
Okay.
So I have been vindicated, and Zekrom moves on. Alright, so we're at... So do you think we have enough time to go into the next round, or do you think... Okay. Alright, so our next round, round 3. This is where it really starts getting tough.
Yes.
I think I was still able to definitely make a choice.
Yeah.
But I know next round is going to be the part where it's like, oh no.
Oh no, but that will be in the final part.
Yes, that'll be in part 3.
Yeah.
So, let's go. So our next round is Yveltal versus Pyukumuku. The strangest matchup yet, and we've done this like 3 times now.
Yeah.
It's just like, here you got this very imposing figure of death versus the cutest Pokemon to ever cute. Like, who will win?
For me, it was the cutest Pokemon to ever cute.
Me too!
Yes!
Oh my god! I was so convinced you were gonna pick Yveltal, and I'm like, God, I gotta like explain my reasoning for Pyukumuku.
I thought you were gonna go with Yveltal. And
we were both so doubtful of each other. We were like, Yveltal's just gonna win, even though I'm gonna pick the other one. But like, no, I guess we both were on the same wavelength there. So like, Yveltal, I think part of my reasoning why I didn't pick Yveltal is because amongst the mascot legendaries of Gen 6, Yveltal is the weakest link for me.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's really good competitively, I still prefer either Zekrom or Xerneas to Yveltal. So, what? What are you laughing about?
Miguel just responded.
Oh, what did you say?
Porygon 2.
Oh my god! Oh! Oof. Well, if we were to pick both... Well, this is why we only had one tiebreaker.
Yeah, we just didn't let Potter know, so I thought he might not respond, especially since he's in Disney.
Right. But he did.
So, yeah.
I'd say in this case we go with the person who responded first, and that was Potter, so...
Yeah.
So Potter's vote counted more.
Yes.
Unfortunately
also,
for Porygon 2.
Also, he was the main decider.
Yeah. Keep it consistent.
Yeah.
So now we have... So Pyukumuku wins. I am shocked. It beat death. It beat death.
I mean,
it is immortal now.
I mean, that's what its whole thing is, to literally beat death. Because if it dies, it deals the damage it receives back at the opponent.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's its whole purpose.
So, you know what, maybe this was the perfect matchup.
Yeah.
So Pyukumuku moves on. There might be some people who will be very angry with us, but you know what? Pyukumuku deserves it, okay?
Yes.
It deserves to beat death.
Yeah, also I can pronounce Pyukumuku a lot easier than I can pronounce Yveltal. Yveltal.
Wow, nice roast. Alright, our next one. Darkrai versus Deoxys. Holy crap. This is such a toughie.
I went with Deoxys.
I also went with Deoxys.
Whoa, okay.
You thought I would go with Darkrai?
I don't know, but I'm just like, these are all such hard decisions, but we're still on the same path.
We are, I know, that's so weird.
It's like, are we too similar? Are we too meant for each other?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, anyway, yeah, I totally picked Deoxys just because I think Deoxys has way more, like, personality than Darkrai, which sounds weird to say, but I think because of that, like, Delta episode and that theme song again.
Yes.
Is it possible that the only reason why I like Deoxys so much is because of its theme song? It might be.
Maybe.
But
I mean, also, you got the 4 cool different forms.
Yeah.
You've got that spell out DNA.
DNA's.
The naming, pun, origin, its whole concept is very interesting.
Yeah.
And, like, Darkrai is also very interesting, but I mean, its name is literally Dark. Translated.
Dark.
Deoxys versus Dark. Deoxyribonucleic acid versus Dark.
I love it. Yeah, no, Deoxys I think is just a better legendary, so
yeah,
it moves on.
Okay.
Buzzwole versus Palisand is our next one, right?
Yes. I went with Palisand.
You went with Palisand over Buzzwole? After you talked it up so much? Who are you?
Like, this was the hardest one for me.
Really?
Second hardest one.
Okay.
Because I absolutely agree about the personality on Buzzwole. But, like, Gen 7 was just so solid with its, like, designs and concepts.
It was.
That I would not mind Buzzwole losing to another Gen 7 mon.
Okay.
But also, I would not mind Buzzwole winning.
Okay.
The main things are for that enhance Palisand for me are the whole sandcastle thing, of course, the haunted sand. Though technically it's more so the shovel, because if it doesn't have the shovel, the sand just disperses. So it's basically a possessed shovel that is controlling large amounts of sand.
That's incredible.
Also the black sand shiny concept, as I just discussed before. The name is also about equally levels of dumb as Buzzwole's. So, like, because Palisand, palace or pile of sand.
I know.
Palace of sand, and then Buzzwole is just Buzz and Swole. And I'm just like, when that name came out, it was just like the perfect time for the memeage of the word Swole.
I know.
And so it's so tough, but like, I ended up going with Palisand because I'm like, I would actually use that in a playthrough partly because like, yeah, Buzzwole is going to be hard to get.
Right.
But also, and like Buzzwole, I mean, would also just be wreck things, but like, I don't know, there's just something a little more about Palisand that draws me to put it just slightly ahead of Buzzwole for me.
Interesting. For me, Buzzwole, I picked Buzzwole because, well, A, I like bugs. If I was a gym leader in this game, I probably would be a bug-type gym leader.
Yeah.
At this point. Even though, like, most of my favorite Pokemon aren't bugs, which is really interesting. But,
yeah.
I just, like I said, I think it's just such a creative way to implement a mosquito. Like, if you were to ask me, how would Pokemon do a mosquito Pokemon, I'd be like, it'd be like a bug dark type. It'd be like this, like, grubby, gross-looking thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, all female to represent the fact that, like, the females are the ones that suck your blood.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a very, like... But, like, at the same time, Buzzwole was such a left-field choice.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a weird way to do a mosquito Pokemon. But it makes a lot of sense. And,
very true.
And like I said, the Ultra Beasts, like I've said before, are so interesting to me. And they're, like, such a, like, different kind of legendary that we haven't really seen before. And so I'm very, like, attached to how they are. So, for me, like, Palisand's still really cool, and I do like Palisand, but I don't know. I think that Buzzwole and the Ultra Beasts are just so much more, like, interesting than, like, Palisand is. Mm-hmm. Although I do think that your descriptions of your reasoning behind Palisand does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, are you going to switch your vote?
I don't think I am.
I'm not going to switch mine either.
All right, tiebreaker, here we go.
Tiebreaker time.
Tiebreaker time.
All right.
Yeah, you read out the next one.
So, the next round for the fourth poll in the third round is Aaron versus Laurentis.
This was a toughie for me, but I ultimately went with Aaron.
I ultimately went with Laurentis.
Oh, again! Okay,
I still really like Aaron. I don't want to diss Aaron. But, like, an overall concept, Laurentis is just so good and funny, and it's so memorable with that crazy island trial, especially for a grass type trial being difficult.
That's fair. That's really fair.
And
this was tough for me too.
And Aaron, again, very cute, but it is and adorable for being a steel rock type. But like it, in terms of its specific origin, it's a little more vague because it's just like a metal dino thing.
Metal dino thing.
Like what else would it be?
I agree. That's fair.
And like Laurentis is so specific, and I really, really, really appreciate it. And again, I'm not going to have any qualms if Aaron moves on, but I've got to stick with Laurentis.
Damn. This is tough for me. Like I went with Aaron initially because I thought like, well, like I just think Aaron, like I've said, I've stuck by Aaron for so long. So it kind of felt natural for me to stick by it this time, too. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe I think I might be moving more towards Laurentis for those reasons as well.
Yeah.
I do like Aaron, and I have used Layron and Aaron in Gen 3 before, so that's also part of the reason why I chose Aaron. I've never used Laurentis in any playthrough. But, the way in which Laurentis kind of stole the show in terms of those trial fights is definitely something to reckon with. So I think I'm going to change my vote to Laurentis.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I think the only reason I would have went for Aaron stronger is if I did actually catch that shiny Aaron when I encountered it all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very strongly a Laurentis vote.
Yes.
So, next round. I think this is probably the easiest one this round.
Okay.
Galvantula versus Sudowoodo.
I went with Galvantula.
Yeah.
I had to. I loved Sudowoodo is great and dorky and he's awesome, but Galvantula's a spooter.
Yeah. He's a good spooter. He's a good spooter I've used and have enjoyed using. I mean, Compound Ice Thunder.
No, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Galvantula's really great and solid, and he deserves everything.
Yeah. Gets coverage with Energy Ball. For those rock and ground
Sudowoodo's dorky, but that's kind of the end point to Sudowoodo.
Yeah.
And then, Galvantula's way more dimensions, so I think Galvantula takes it.
Yeah.
No contest. Okay, so Potter's gotten back to us. He says, Palisand 110%, holy bleep. The thing can possess any sand and grow to the size of a building and eat people whole.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I guess Palisand moves on.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad because Buzzwole's awesome.
It does make me sad, too, but it made it to the third round. It's not like it got knocked out in round 1.
Oh, yeah, no. It went far, and I appreciate Buzzwole for that.
Yes.
Okay, so then our next one is Sandshrew versus Quagsire. What a tough matchup.
This was the toughest one for me. But ultimately, I voted Quagsire.
I also voted Quagsire. DJ Doa is the best Doa in the universe.
I am terrified for the next episode. It's Galvantula versus Quagsire.
I know! That's gonna be so tough! My Spider Boy versus my DJ Boy? It's like me trying to choose between my own kids. Which one do I think is my favorite? I don't know, both of them!
I think what we're going to have to do for the next episode is make sure our third party is in the episode.
Yeah!
I think we're going to have to.
We're going to have a third party because that would be so tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely Galvantula over Sudowoodo, no contest.
Yes.
And I mean, like, Sandshrew is really cool, but, like, Quagsire, as I've said before so many times in this podcast, it's just so good.
Yeah.
And also Digidol exists. Like, I can't vote for Sandshrew over that. Like, come on. So yeah, definitely Quagsire.
Yes.
All right, so our last 2 rounds, we got Curlia versus who?
Pignite. I went with Curlia.
I also went with Curlia.
Okay.
As I've said before, like, as much as I like defending Pignite, I mean, Curlia's just a better middle stage. Like, duh. Like, I just, like, Curlia, like, Gardevoir is so strong. Curlia is just so interesting. Like, I cannot in good conscience pick Pignite over Curlia. So,
yeah.
Curlia was no contest. Curlia won that one.
And then the last one.
Zekrom versus Oricorio.
What did you pick?
I picked Zekrom.
I picked Oricorio.
Oh, boy.
I mean, Zekrom is really cool and has an interesting and complex origin if you look beyond the yin-yang aspect.
Right.
But Oricorio, with its 4 different forms, with its unique ability of Dancer, which could be so rude.
Right.
Its signature move, able to change types depending upon what form it's in. The fact that, like, that it is a multicultural Pokemon, as Hawaii has kind of been influenced by a lot of other cultures, because you've got the Pow Pow style that is the psychic type.
Yeah.
You got, I forget what the ghost one's called, but you got the ghost one that has a lot of Japanese influence.
Yeah.
The Pom Pom style, which is so America, and then the flamenco form with the Hispanic influence.
Yeah.
And again,
Spanish technically.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Spanish influence, and again, very tough because Zekrom is very good, very strong, and very interesting. But I overall would put Oricorio slightly higher.
This is so tough for me. Cause like I've said before, I think that the story within Gen 5 and the way you get to use the legendary mascot is just so interesting and really cool. In a way that some of the legendaries aren't, that I kind of feel like I gotta go for Zekrom, but I do agree that, like, Oricorio's design concept is really cool. This might be another tiebreaker.
Yeah, okay.
Because, like, I just Zekrom's so cool.
I mean, again, I will not be mad one way or the other.
No, I do think Oricorio is a good design concept. So let me put it to our person. So while that's going in, just a little preview of the next one. We have
Pyukumuku versus Deoxys.
We have Palossand versus Lurantis.
Galvantula versus Quagsire.
Yep, and then
Curlia versus the winner of this.
Yes, which these are gonna be tough as nails.
Yeah.
Zekrom again? Oh yeah, that's right. We did ask him about Porygon 2 versus Zekrom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's a toughie. These are all gonna be like, this is the finals, right? No,
next round's the semifinals.
Well, next round's the semifinals.
And then the finals, and then we also have third, fourth place.
We have the battle for third place.
Yeah. So
that's gonna be really interesting battle.
Very interesting.
Oh my god. Semifinals are gonna be the toughest one.
It's crazy, I will say, how we were just like, out of all of the 800 some Pokemon, we're just gonna pick 64 at random from a number generator.
Yeah.
And we're still having such like intense debates.
I know
about these Pokemon and which we like more, which is, I think, is a large testament to how good a lot of the Pokemon are.
Oh yeah, it could have they're definitely like. It's really interesting because I think this kind of setup really like lets you kind of advocate for Pokemon that you kind of might have completely ignored in like other situations.
And I mean, like
who knew that we liked Pyukumuku so much?
Yeah, I mean, like in the first round, like there was certainly like a couple that were just like, eh.
Yeah, like once.
But like now we're getting to this point, and even still, it's like all of these rounds is gonna be like a pain in the tuchus.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely lots that are very, very hard. Honestly, I think the two closest ones are probably going to be Palossand and Lurantis, and Galvantula and Quagsire. Those are going to be ones that are going to be incredibly tough to choose.
Yes.
Because they're both very, very good Pokemon, and they both deserve all the love in the world. And it's like, who do we choose? I don't know.
I don't. This until Potter responds.
Oh, no, he responds. So, he says, battling-wise, Zekrom, but I'll go with Oricorio. It's incredibly important to Alolan culture. And its different forms mean different things. So, yeah, I definitely respect that analysis, that Oricorio has more dimensions to its design than even Zekrom, which is kind of, I guess, does sort of testament to how good Gen 7 was in terms of how complex their design concepts were. So, I guess Oricorio takes that round.
All right, yep.
Oh my god. We knocked out 2 legendaries?
Yeah.
Whew, okay. So, it's Kirlia versus Oricorio next round.
Yes.
Which, that's also going to be a toughie. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's going to be a good time. But I hope you all have been enjoying this bracket podcast system. Let us know what your feelings are.
Definitely do.
Again, though, of course, as we've clearly stated before, your opinion will definitely be wrong because this is entirely based on facts.
It definitely is.
Absolutely. There's absolutely no sarcasm in those statements.
None at all.
But anywho, so thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426.
You can also follow me on Twitter at TheRationalDev.
And you should also check us both out on RDSJ Gaming, where we play through some various video games. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack and Alyssa signing off.